What's up, you guys? The title of this video will be Back Essentials, and that's really because I don't do a lot of movements as compared to some of my other videos where, I'm doing chest or arms or shoulders or legs. I'm not doing as many exercises as I usually do. It doesn't take a lot of exercise as long as you know exactly what you're trying to do. You don't really need a ton of different angles and isolation movements, because frankly, if you're not spending 3 hours in the gym lifting weights, you're not going to be able to hit all those muscles effectively anyway if you're doing all these various angles. So anyway, I believe in having a strong back, especially if you're going to have a strong chest. You need a strong back just so you're balanced, all right? Just so your posture is good, just so you're not creating a situation to cause injuries for yourself. I don't necessarily want a big thick back. I'm really doing a back day because I did a chest day this week and I need it for the balance. So you want your back to be nice and strong so it can stabilize and balance out your chest muscles. So this is really my warm-up set. I'm supersetting. I guess you can call me the superset king because I love supersets, especially when you don't have a lot of time. Supersetting these underhand rows with some pull-ups. And so this is basically my warm-up set. I warmed up at 135, and now we'll move to the working sets. Okay, so here is the first working set, and I'm working with 185 pounds. Sometimes I go up to 205. I even try 225, but you'll see here my emphasis is on doing weight that I can control. I'm pulling my hands back as much as possible, not up towards the chest, back towards the waist. And if you do that, that's what's going to give you the opportunity to get the mind-muscle connection, which is still going to be necessary in order to engage your lats. Otherwise, you're doing mostly like a bicep curl. So you got to focus on actually engaging your lats and using them to help you pull the weight up. If you don't, you will not target your back muscles like you want. And obviously, supersetting with pull-ups, you can really feel it once you jump up there to start do pull-ups right after you did the underhand rows, that your lats are already fatigued. So I'm just hitting, I think, eight pull-ups between sets, and that will be the same for the remainder of the sets. Okay, so here's working set number 2 at 185 still. It takes a little bit of forecasting to know exactly what weight you should be doing. It may take a few times for each muscle group to determine the exact weights, because you have to know how much is going to be challenging for you at the end of however many sets that you're doing. So if I'm doing, let's say here, 5 sets of 10, I need to know exactly how much weight I can do while still keeping the proper amount of control and my muscle connection to get the most work in by that last set where I'm struggling. All right, you should be really struggling to get your reps in that last set, especially if you're supersetting. You'll see later on that I end up having to actually break up my pull-ups because I can't do them all straight because I'm hitting 2 intensive exercises back to back. All right, so set number 4, and notice I'm definitely starting to have to work harder here, but it's still a weight that I'm controlling. I'm not having to bounce up and down, use my legs. This is all a pulling motion, and I'm trying to pause as much as I can at the top before it goes back down. And notice the posture of my back. It's even negatively bowed. I stick my chest and my stomach out to really engage all the back. So all of your back muscles are already engaged. So any movement is going to require extra engagement from your back muscles. A lot of people have a problem engaging that lower back and correcting their posture, so they have that non-stop rounded lower back, and it's really just a matter of engaging those muscles. And those muscles are useful for posture. Those muscles are useful for a lot of things, so you need to learn how to activate them. And inevitably also I have to break up my pull-ups because my lats are getting burnt now. And also, you're burning your biceps doing both of these exercises because it takes your biceps to help you with both pull-ups and the underhand rows. And so once those fatigue, it's even more critical for you to start using your back muscles to complete your reps. So that was set number 4. We'll move on to set 5. And the last set here, that last set, you should be pondering how exactly you're going to be able to get this done, because the weight is very tough. All right, you should be struggling to maintain your discipline, not to just get it, period. All right, especially when it comes to back, because you just don't have the same level of control as you do with like chest motion. So the struggle here is to make all the reps look the same as your first set, and that's going to be super hard without keeping yourself from doing all the jerking and bouncing, using your legs, breaking your form down. Your form's going to break down, but you still want to make sure that you're doing good quality reps, and then you're racking it as fast as possible, like I just did there. But I know a lot of guys go in the gym and they're just yanking weight and bouncing all around. You're not targeting the muscles that you want to target when you do that. So fellas, slow it down, get that engagement, get your mind-muscle connection going. That's how you develop the muscles. And if you see, my biceps are getting a good workout in here too. I still do an arm day, but you see those biceps engaging, and it actually does help with the outer head of your bicep to develop it some more. And now I'm only able to do 3 pull-ups before I'm starting to get burnt. My lats are on fire right now. So if you're doing this exercise and your lats are not on fire, then you are definitely not doing it right. So let's move on to the next sets of exercises. Okay, so moving on now, you'll see that I'm going to do a dumbbell row. And already, obviously my lats are on fire, almost burnt, so I'm really doing this to get that extra little pump and work with the lats. And so I'm doing dumbbell rows here. This is a 100-pound dumbbell. I'm doing 12 with my right arm, 12 with my left arm, and then I want to do some straight arm pull downs, which I want to do some coaching on the form here, because I see almost everybody doing it wrong. And with the rows here, you want to pull back more like you're putting your hands in your pocket, more than you want to pull straight up to your chest. And I'm kind of somewhere in between, just critiquing my own form. I started off pretty good, but I'm starting to fatigue. My lats are getting burnt. I probably could have went down to maybe 90 pounds to keep my form a little bit better. And obviously, just like most people, I'm stronger on one arm than the other. Okay, so straight arm pull downs. I see a lot of people leaning forward or bending their waist doing this exercise. You want to, on straight arm pull downs, keep your body as erect as possible and lean away from the machine. All right, so see how I'm leaning? I put my weight into it, and then I lean back instead of leaning forward, and you will feel much, much more lat engagement than you will leaning into it. I see people doing it all the time. You just don't get the same level of activation. You won't get the same burn if you're leaning forward. So keep your body erect, lean back, and bring that bar all the way down to your thighs. So set number 2 here. I think I tried to do a little bit better. I always try to refocus when I come back for a set, no matter how tired I am. And I'm taking all of these sets, I'm probably taking 1.5 to 2 minutes tops to get back to do these sets. I think I started with 1.5 with the pull-ups and underhand rows, but I saw that, I probably needed 2 minutes. Given the superset nature, you're gonna need a little bit more time to recover. It's taken me probably a minute to almost 2 minutes to do all the reps. So you probably need 1.5 to 2 minutes to give your muscles a chance to recover. Now with these dumbbell rows, because you're doing one arm at a time, you're buying more time for recovery, for one of your lats, because you're only working one of them at a time. So it's a little bit better here, but I still like to pull my hand back towards my pocket a little bit more. Once you do that, then you really see, where you're at. You see a lot of guys in there doing basically jerk motions with the dumbbells. You want to muscle that thing up. You don't want it to be a full body exercise. You also want to use the eccentric, meaning the lowering down of the weight, to help develop your muscle as well. Don't just jerk it up and then basically let the weight yank your arm out of the socket. All right, you got to control the weight up, control the weight down. Once you can do that, then you know you actually can do the weight. See people at the gym doing far too much weight and they can't control it, so they end up doing some full body workout and not at all targeting the muscle that they want to target. All right, so set number 3, and at this point in your workout, you should be really kind of pondering, man, I don't know if I can get all these reps. I've done this workout several times, so I know that there's still some left in the tank, and sometimes you just got to push through. If you have to, don't be afraid to reduce weight. But you can see I'm still fairly well controlling the weight here. I'd like a little bit less shoulder movement in terms of pulling my shoulder back, but you actually feel this in your core some, so you get a good external oblique workout here. And that's why I never do them on the bench, because I want that extra core workout by leaning on my knee. If you lean on the bench, you pretty much just shut your obliques and core down. If you do these heavy rows with just propping up on your knee, then you get a lot more oblique activation. So you get impromptu ab exercise as well. And so I feel like I'm still fairly well controlling this weight here, given that it's my last couple of sets. So I'm just kind of pushing through to make it. And these will be the last, I still got one more round after this. And, it's really a struggle now. I'm having to break up my straight arm pull downs. And so, my back workout, like I said before, is built to, I want some strength, I want balance, I want some definition. I don't necessarily want a lot of size. So I'm not doing crazy amounts of weight of anything, seated rows or anything like that, because number one, a lot of people get hurt doing that. They either hurt their elbow, they get elbow tendonitis, or they pull something, a bicep or something like that. I'm just not really interested in that, because that's not really what I'm doing my back workouts for. I like balance, I like some symmetry, and I like just overall strength in all of my muscle groups. All right, guys, so here is the last set. And while this is playing, I want to expound on what I was saying before. Yeah, I lift the weights because I want to be balanced and toned and all that stuff, but I do all these workouts because it gives me new ideas. I want to motivate my clients in every way possible. I want to give them new workouts all the time. That's challenging to come up with new workouts all the time. I could do the same old repetitive stuff all the time, but that's boring and it's not going to keep people motivated. So I got to change it up. I got to give them new workouts. And even beyond that, I've got to look the part. I've got to motivate them with my work ethic as well. I think far too often now it's acceptable for people to call themselves a trainer and not even look the part. That's unacceptable to me. And for me, I have clients who have different goals. I have people who want to get bigger, as big as possible, and get strong naturally. And then I have people who like to run and do various things outdoors and burpees and are in great cardiovascular shape. So I have to be good at both. And I love that challenge, being good at both and doing some of everything. And I feel like that creates the most balanced lifestyle possible. And I'm going to come out with a video on that, because there's been some media lately that's been completely contradictory to that. But either way, I want to be good at everything so I can teach my clients how to be good at it. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. And I work out with my clients quite a bit. I don't work out with everybody all the time, but I work out with pretty much everybody at some point fairly regularly. So I want to have them be able to see that I'm challenging myself to the level that I want them to challenge themselves. They don't necessarily have to do what I'm doing in terms of speed or weight or any of that stuff, but they should be doing what they're capable of doing. And I want to show them that I'm doing what I'm capable of doing, and so that we can do it together. And that way I become part of the group. But I have to keep them honest. And, I'm not going to be tolerant of any slacking or anything, especially if I'm working out. I got to trust you to be able to put your own work into the workout if I want to be working out, because my focus is now on the workout as well as my clients. So my attention is a little bit divided. But anyway, guys, go out, try this workout at the gym, comment, subscribe, and be looking out for the next video. Holler at you guys later. Peace.